Hi guys, this is Noiser and today I will share 5 things that I think Ready or Not could learn from Rainbow Six Siege. Although every aspect of Ready or Not is not known yet, and a lot of things surely could change over time while the game is being finalized for release, there still are a lot of things that Ready or Not could learn from Rainbow Six Siege, from game mechanics to marketing and community development. In this video I will share my personal top 5 and I would really appreciate your opinion on them. Number 1. How to manage DLCs. Rainbow Six Siege has managed to do what many games only dream of, to create a live service that has kept the game and community growing for each DLC that has been released. There are a couple of reasons to this, of course, and new exciting content is one of them. But I personally think there sort of is a secret sauce that Ubisoft has managed to cook for us, by great design and or perhaps a bit of luck. Thematic seasons makes it easier to market and build hype around the release of every new DLC. And the time between each season in Rainbow Six Siege seems ideal to keep the hype up and get the interest going even after seasons that has had problems with either operators, maps or bugs. So this is something I think Void should analyze a bit. The way of building seasons around countries also is a great way of expanding the community and getting the community to engage in the design and ideas for future CTUs. As I understand, Ready or Not will add CTUs and maps as DLCs, and I think there is a lot of ideas around how this is done in Siege that Ready or Not can learn from. Although Ron, hopefully, and probably, will be a lot more true to life when it comes to operators and gadgets, there still is a lot of lore that could be added just to create hype around each release of a new DLC. And lore don't cost much really, with the right people involved in the project. It will, however, make marketing much easier, as there will be stories to be told in teasers and trailers and around characters, which might make it easier to make special distinguishing differences between CTUs, although many of them, regardless of country, sort of look the same and work in the same way. And getting the CTUs to feel different enough to be interesting and still be realistic and well balanced, that's quite important and a bit of a challenge without lore, in my opinion. Number 2. How not to manage attachments. Rainbow Six Siege did a terrible job with attachments in my opinion, mainly because Ubisoft, especially at release, failed to explain the differences between barrel attachments, for example, and also because there really isn't much reason not to equip the muzzle brake on many weapons, for example, as that works best for most situations. They have also done a poor job of releasing the actual in-game stats for attachments, which, without a test course, has made it practically impossible to test and evaluate performance. And performance is of course everything in a competitive shooter, as you want to find a setup that works the best for you. Thank God we, and Ubisoft for that matter, have Rogue 9. What would we have done without him? The reason I think this is important is because messing around with your loadout is something many players like to do and to think about. And whenever you play or think about how to play a game, you increase your loyalty as with every product or brand, and this is of course something Void Interactive would like us players to do. Now, balancing attachments can be a bit hard to do while maintaining realism, so here's where I personally think Ron should throw realism out the window and instead find a system that feels rewarding to use. That adds a sense of realism, as you as a player can change performance of your guns and understand what those changes mean. Number 3. How to work with customization. When it comes to customization, Rainbow Six Siege has managed to make microtransactions an appreciated mechanic for both the business and the players. At least that is my opinion, and Ubisoft probably are making money on it, but in the right way. I think you should be able to buy cosmetics that will enhance your experience without destroying the experience for anyone else. Different appearances, equipment, patches, weapon skins and other things, as long as they are realistic, will work great in Ready or Not, and microtransactions I think is a great way of funding further development in an honest way, by letting people that can afford in-game purchases to keep funding the game for all players. Paid content must, however, only be content that you can see and evaluate before purchase, and not some sort of loot boxes. But as many countries are getting new laws around this, I don't think Void will move in that direction. Number 4. How to design operators. Playing different operators in Rainbow Six Siege can make you experience the game in a totally different way. Running around with Ashe and her R4 compared to picking Doc with his shotgun makes for a totally different experience due to a couple of reasons. The engagement distance, the speed, and the armor of the operator. You need to play in a totally different way, and it also feels very different, which is one thing that actually keeps the game interesting. And keeping the game interesting over time is of course a success factor for any game. Sometimes I play operators just because of a challenge that needs to be done to gain extra XP or a charm, for example, and by doing that I sometimes get the chance to rediscover another part of the game, which actually leads us to the last point on my list. Number 5. How to inspire grinding. Rainbow Six Siege have daily and weekly challenges that will give you some sense of progression and sort of inspire you to play the game in a different way to get some extra variation. Ubisoft could have done this a lot better though, and here I think Ready or Not can do too. Challenges around non-lethal completion of missions or games, or completing certain objectives with or without certain gadgets, focusing on a different role in the team, performing certain team play oriented assignments. I mean, there are so many things that can make challenges and assignments interesting, and as many of us are completionists, this will make us play more to earn more and therefore love the game more, in my humble opinion anyway. So, what are your thoughts on this? What is the most important thing Ready or Not can learn from Rainbow Six Siege in your opinion? Do you perhaps have some own ideas that I didn't bring up here? Share your thoughts by leaving a comment below and give me a thumbs up or down so I get some sort of feedback on this video. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it to get notified the second I post something new. I'll be back soon again, and until then, I will keep being Noiser. Hej då!